Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Entrepreneur Odyssey. And today I have the wonderful John Linss, who is founder of Core Speed Health as well as Pharma Built. And today we're going to be going into John's journey into the business, why he started the business. And yeah, let's kick off, John. First of all, welcome to the podcast and great to have you with us today.
Thank you, Tajdeed. It's really a pleasure. I've enjoyed speaking with you prior and look forward to our time today.
Excellent. Well, let's start off then with your journey into why you built Core Speed Health. What gap did you see in the market that you thought, you know what, I'm gonna start this business?
Well, I didn't really take it towards the market originally. My first motivation was to focus on what we needed as a family. And my wife and I were going to have a baby with IVF, and they gave us a list of supplements and they said, you need to take these. Now, this was pretty important, right? We're trying to have a baby. We're spending a lot of money on IVF. We wanted it to be right. We asked the question, where do we get these?
Yeah.
And they said, it doesn't matter. You can find them anywhere.
Yeah.
That wasn't a really great patient experience. That
Dr.
threw
Amazon,
fear
right?
into the mix because I know better. I'm an endurance hiker. I've crossed the Grand Canyon from the north to the south rim in one day. I've climbed Mount Whitney, the tallest mountain in the 48 states, in one day. And I take a lot of supplements. So I've done my research, and there are studies that say 80% of the supplements that are on Amazon are either fake outright or they are mislabeled. We didn't want to find ourselves in a situation where we weren't benefiting from the supplements we were supposed to be taking. So we spent the better part of the day looking for the right vendors. We spent a lot of money, but good stuff costs. And we did not end up having a baby, but that's okay. This came out of it.
Yes. I suppose this is a different kind of baby.
Yes, very much so. It is definitely a baby. We're growing it though.
Yeah. And so it's a really interesting journey because also you were an executive at Caesars Entertainment, I believe. Like you said, you're an endurance hiker, and then now you've transitioned to a supplement entrepreneur, I would say. So it's a really interesting journey that you've had here. And I understand why. I understand why you obviously created this business. How did you find out that 80% of what Amazon or other providers wasn't actually? I don't like to use the word legit, but it's nothing else has come to me. But the supplements weren't quite doing what they said they were going to do.
So it's pretty simple. Do a search on the internet. The studies are public.
Okay.
And, Amazon recognizes that this is an issue, and they are beginning to look at how do they validate quality products on their platform. I think
Okay.
you see less of that in some of the other online venues that you might find supplements in. But, at the end of the day, there are a lot of studies on supplements, clinical studies around efficacy, but there's also a lot of studies, or there's a few studies on the quality that you can find online. And that's the thing that really worried me about this whole process. I've been an entrepreneur, an entrepreneur. I was a CTO at Caesars, and I oversaw the technology side of things and the M&A side of things from a technology point of view. I've also taken companies public, and I was really impersonating a retired person. But this turned to be a big deal. It really got me thinking. And I don't blame the doctor for the way they handled it, because doctors in 4 years of medical school, they have 0 hours of training on nutrition, nutritional supplements, fitness, and they're taught how to treat sick people. And that's really their core competency.
Yeah.
They don't have a core competency in understanding the value proposition around nutritional supplements. They don't have a core competency around inventory management if they decide to offer them directly. They don't have the time to go and source things so that they have high confidence levels. There are some physicians out there that do provide supplements. I've had 3 general practitioners in my life that variously times had made recommendations. One, they sent me to a website and said, I want you to buy them from these people. The second, They had them in inventory. And within about 18 months after they started selling them to me, they didn't do it anymore because it was too big a hassle. And
Wow.
the third just said, you need to go take this stuff and figure it out on your own. They don't know any better.
No.
So what it really came down to in my mind is that our health system needs an easy button for wellness. It doesn't exist. Our health system is extremely complex, and most patients have abdicated their health to
Well,
doctors, to insurance
yeah,
companies, and so forth, right?
you're so right. You're so right.
So my first thought was around delivery and compliance. How do we make it easy? How do we provide the doctors with the information they need and the infrastructure that they need? First of
Mm,
all, it had to be free. Doctors don't want to pay money for stuff they don't understand, first of all. And they're really focused on how can we deliver quality care. And so my background, I've built multiple multi-tenant technology platforms. Now, a multi-tenant platform means that I can have brands within brands within brands, and within each tenant, what we call a tenant, I can have personalization in that tenant. So
mm,
it's not just a cookie cutter thing. And so I started building that. I built that now. I built it over the last 2 years,
mhm.
been operational for some time now.
Yeah.
And we have all of our technology running in Amazon, so it's linearly scalable, automatically scalable. So it's
Nice.
available all the time. And we can generate a website for a doctor in about 8 minutes, fully branded with a
Nice.
custom catalog, shopping cart, and payment processing.
Wow.
So that makes it pretty easy for the doctor. They don't have to pay for a website. We also give them a brochure that
Nice.
has QR codes in it.
That's
They check a
so
box.
easy.
They check a box and give it to the patient. So, for example, they see the blood work
Mm,
and they tell the patient, "Your labs say that you need to really be focused on your blood sugar support.
yeah.
So, I want you to take this blood sugar protocol." They check the box, give it to the patient. The patient hits a QR code. It brings them straight into the doctor's site. They just add it to the cart and check out. And every 30 days, they get a box like this in the mail with 60 daily packets. And we'll talk about the ingredients in just a minute, but you can see it's not one or two ingredients. It's a
No.
complete engineered health system. And so the patient has an easy time of it. They don't have to think about it. It shows up. They
Mhm.
take these supplements at the time when they should take them. Well, as I said, I took a lot of supplements when because I'm an endurance hiker, but I'm lazy and I got tired of putting the things
If
in the
you're
pillbox.
lazy, what chance do the rest of us have? Endurance
Well,
hiking lazy.
I put I started off with pill boxes.
Mm,
That got to be a hassle. I didn't wanna do that every week.
yeah.
So then I moved to just having them on the counter and taking them every morning. I took them all, 25 capsules a day, all in the
Wow.
morning. Now,
Mm,
what happens when you do that? First of all, some of those ingredients are fighting each other, right?
but
They're not appropriate to be taken at the same time. The second thing that happens is the way I did it, I cobbled together my own system. I'm not a scientist. I go based on the internet and TV and whatever's
mm,
out there that says you need to take this, but it usually isn't the best for me. And I take too much of one thing and not enough of something else. So
right.
people that are taking supplements aren't getting the efficacy that they need. Most people, if you ask them if when you take these supplements, does it change how you feel? They're going to
Mm,
say no. I just know I need to take them because they tell me I do. And,
so
most of the marketing out there right now is around single ingredient supplements or one pill a day or two pills a day.
right.
And there's no silver bullets, right? There just
No,
isn't. So
no.
I had to solve for that also. That meant I had to build a manufacturing operation.
I was gonna ask. I was gonna
Yeah.
ask yeah, tell us about the manufacturing side of things. It'd be great to hear.
Well, I didn't trust most of the vendors that are out there. I didn't wanna have to always be on guard against somebody slipping something by me.
Mm,
I also had started off thinking, "Well, I'll just have these capsules," these ingredients. I had 60 ingredients I identified that were important to 10 different health protocols. And I also was focused on health span. What does that mean? Well, most people think about longevity.
yeah.
I want longevity, I want to live a long time.
Mhm.
Well, I don't want to live a long time if the last 30 years I'm sick.
Yeah, very true.
I want health span. which is living a long time well.
Quality of
And
life.
so it's not just the health protocols, it's
Mm,
also overall wellness,
yeah,
engineered wellness.
absolutely.
So I formed an R&D team with nutritional supplement scientists, experienced people that understand the clinical foundation for supplements, a registered pharmacist with 40 years of experience in compounding pharmacies,
So you
and
did
other
understand.
people that understood manufacturing and that understood food-based manufacturing, because at the end of the day, this is food. The FDA basically certifies our operations, right?
Right. Right, right.
And so along the way, we crafted blends of supplements that were designed to give you everything you need and nothing you don't. So
Amazing.
we don't have ingredients fighting each other. We're not taking too much of anything. I don't have any fillers in these capsules. And we also structured it in a way that the evening dose of supplements also supports good restorative sleep. You can
Amazing.
sleep all night without waking up and wake up tired. I don't
Yeah.
wanna do that. So I've gone from taking 25 capsules a day to 13. I sleep better. I
Mm,
feel better. Every facet of my life is better. My mood is more stable. I mean, everything is better because
mm.
of the protocol that I'm on.
Absolutely amazing. And how long have you been taking the supplements for, John?
I've been taking supplements for 20 years.
But your specific
I started taking them, I take different ones at different times.
right.
So, for example, I went to Australia, last fall,
Okay.
and, I gained a little bit of weight, and then I
You're
came
not
back and it was the holidays, and I gained a little bit more weight, and I know how to lose weight healthy. I know how to use proper nutrition, fitness, and
mm,
so forth to lose weight. But I thought, well, we have a GLP-1 protocol
mm,
to support people that are taking that to avoid their side effects and to support the overall weight loss, feeling of well-being, and so
right.
forth. A lot of people don't sleep very well on GLP-1 as well.
Oh, interesting.
So
Okay.
I decided to take GLP
Okay. Okay.
3 weeks ago. Well, I'm on my 4th dose now. 3 weeks ago, I took it. I
Okay.
started taking it. It's a weekly dose. It's a weekly dose.
Yeah.
And for the first week, I was off all supplements. I took no supplements whatsoever.
Oh,
And
interesting.
starting from the first afternoon, I was having nausea. I was having some acid indigestion, had a
Mm,
little bit of fatigue. And that first night, I slept almost not at all. And my
wow.
sleep was not, it was not good sleep.
Mm,
And I did that for a week. And that whole week, I mean, it got a little better over time. But
yeah.
that whole week, I had some effects from that.
Mm, mhm. Okay.
So the day of the second injection, I took the morning packet for our GLP-1 support. No nausea, no acid indigestion, no discomfort emotionally, and I
Mhm.
slept like a baby that night, and I have ever since.
Very good. Very,
And I've
very
gained 16 pounds I'm sorry, I haven't gained, I've lost 16 pounds in the last, 3 weeks.
wow, that's amazing. That's huge results.
Now, I gotta tell you, I'm not working out during this time either. I wanted direct results.
Right.
There was some weight control component to that, so I'm not as hungry,
Mhm.
and so I'm not eating as much. I eat the right things, so
Mhm.
I'm doing that, but I wanted to feel what it felt like for my patient to take our
Yeah.
supplements, and I've done that with every one of our protocols.
Amazing.
Every month or 2, I change out the protocol, and except for the women's protocol, I haven't done that. My wife took that.
Your wife's done it. She can
Yeah,
vouch.
she's taken it, and she's had the effects that I had when I took them in.
Oh,
Yeah.
fantastic. So and that's amazing because you want to know as the owner of this business that what you're providing your customers is going to work. And I love that because it means that you're really genuine about what you're doing. Like you say, I think it's the easy bit, right? Because we're told, like say, by the health industry, you should take this, you should take creatine, you should take magnesium, you should take so many different supplements. Sorry, and as a consumer, it's highly confusing. So, I really love the business that you've created. And now you've also got Pharma built.
Well, Pharma Bill's always been part of that.
It's always
The Pharma
ongoing.
Built brand was our practitioner brand.
Right.
So for our medical wellness and fitness professionals, they were receiving their clients were receiving, the box with the Pharma Built brand on it. And, we believe that that is a good consistent brand.
Great.
We spent a lot of time on branding to make
Mhm.
sure that it gave the right impression because we are engineered. This is a scientifically founded enterprise.
Right.
Without science, if we're just making stuff up as we go along, well, I think this will work. We're not doing any justice to our clients. And
No,
a big part of my mission is to improve our population health here in the United States and as we roll out into other parts of the world and other parts of the world that we
no.
give people health span in addition to addressing their urgent health needs. And so that is a big part of this, right?
Amazing. And I already asked you prior to our chat today if you're planning to come to Europe, but I know you've got a big market in the US to sort of get through initially, but love to see you over here when you're
Well, I've worked internationally for 30, actually 40 years, and I've worked in 30 countries around the world. So I'm familiar with international business. So the day will come.
good.
But
Look
the
forward to
key
it.
is quality.
Manufacturing, exactly.
If I don't have control over my quality, I don't have anything.
And you mentioned about manufacturing. Obviously, so you've got a pharmacist involved, you've got nutritionists, you've got lots of different manufacturers. I mean, in terms of cost, that must be quite a high cost for your business.
It is. It is significant, and so is the inventory for that matter. I have to stock the inventory because I don't ask my clients to do that. I
Right,
need inventory for our consumer market, but I also need inventory for our physicians. And
right.
so I can't afford to tell them they gotta have inventory because they're just not gonna do it. Some
Mm,
will, but it doesn't make sense for them. It's not their core competency.
sure.
And they need to make money though.
Yeah,
So we provide a program where it's a subscription, right? So if they add 10 patients today or this month and add another 10 patients next month, then they're making money on 20 patients,
right.
right?
Okay.
Now, if they're a Medicare or Medicaid physician, well, we have to do it differently. We can't
Mm,
just take a percentage and give it to the doctor.
mm,
They have an anti-kickback statute that they have to take into account. This is a congressional law that was passed some time back.
I see.
And so how we frame that is we create a virtual consignment program.
Mm,
So they own the product
right.
and we simply fulfill out of our inventory their virtual consignment product and they're able to do that.
Amazing. Amazing. It almost seems like a no-brainer for doctors and physicians to sign up. It really,
Well,
yeah,
of all the doctors I've sat down and talked to, only 2 have said I don't get it.
really. Wow. And I'm surprised those 2 don't get it, to be honest. But
Well,
there you go.
some people don't like change.
Yes. That's
That's part of the ease though. That's part of the easy button. When a doctor walks into an exam room, they have 6 minutes, 6 to 10 minutes with a patient.
right. Right.
They're popping through the labs, they're finding out what's going on, they're asking
Right.
questions, they're listening. They don't have time. So we wanted to give them something that took less than 30 seconds for them to recommend. We
Right.
give them all of the clinical data. So
Mm,
they have a book of clinical data and protocol on our protocols so that they understand the value and why we do what we do. All of the clinical studies are in that book, so they have all the clinical backup, but it should make it easy on them, and that's what we tried to do.
amazing.
They can't make more money most of the time. The only way a doctor can make more money is add people.
Right.
And the only way they can add people is if they have more space for more exam rooms so that those people can see patients.
Yeah.
You can't see patients in the lobby, right? So that's a
No.
costly proposition to increase their income. This
Mm,
gives them a path to recurring, increasing
mm,
passive income that they don't have to pay any investment into, and they don't have to do anything to achieve it, except to spend 30 seconds to make a recommendation. We do the
very,
rest.
very cool. Very cool. Let's change track slightly and let's talk about because all of us as business owners face challenges. What challenges have you faced? And I'm sure there's many, from compliance, from getting relevant approvals and things like that. I'm sure there must be many challenges that you've faced. Has there ever been a challenge that has made you feel like I want to walk away from this? Like this is too much, and you've been able to push through.
Well, I felt that, except I have a
Okay.
tendency to pull a trigger, and I started building the technology before I
Mm.
started building the product.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So I had in the back of my mind, okay, I can do this way.
Yeah.
And when I got into it, it was very daunting. There's so many voices in the wilderness about what
Yeah.
you should do. I found I had to start from the clinical side, but I'm not a doctor. I have a
Mm.
lot of history in the medical industry, so I've
Yeah.
had a lot of experience in working with doctors and clinicians and so forth on a variety of things. But I'm not a specialist in supplements, or at least I wasn't back then. And so finding the right people is
Mm.
probably the hardest thing you can do when you start a business. Most people really aren't the people I want. They either don't
Yes.
have the background, they don't have the work ethic, but they just kinda get along, right? I need geniuses. I need really, really smart people. And, there's a reason why Mensa exists. It's a small club, right? There's very few people in Mensa if you take a look at the overall population.
Yeah.
We need Mensa
Me-
level people because it's critical that we create the right scientifically engineered products.
Yeah.
And so
Absolutely.
finding the right people was very difficult. I have a lot of contacts in this industry and, or in the medical industry. I had less in the supplement industry. So
Okay.
I had to move into the food industry because that's where most of those people live,
Yes, I can imagine.
or they live in university.
Oh, interesting.
So our
Okay.
people are PhD,
Yeah.
and they have spent 10 years or more in
Mm.
supplement focused endeavors, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Well, that was the hardest part. I think before that, I had started off thinking, "Well, I'm just gonna have, 60 ingredients." And I looked at that, and that was daunting as well, to find the right
Mm.
manufacturer to provide me all that. I
Yeah.
didn't start off thinking I was gonna manufacture first. I was gonna buy it from other
Okay.
manufacturers.
Fine. Fine. Fine.
It just didn't fit.
Yeah.
So that meant
Yeah.
I had to manufacture, and I had to say to myself,
Wow.
"Hey, here's a good portion of my net worth I'm gonna put into this business. Am I
Yeah.
willing to do that?"
Mhm.
And the answer was yes.
Yeah.
It kinda I believe in what I'm doing.
Mm.
I believe that our health system is broken. I believe that our wellness system is broken because it's built around marketing.
Yes. Yes.
Flavor of
That's
the day,
so true.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
The supplement business is not regulated like the pharmaceutical business is.
That's a crime in itself, to be honest, because we're ingesting these things.
Yes, we are. Well, they look at it as food. They look at it as food. Food has regulation, and we adhere to the food regulations, the nutritional
Yeah.
regulations. But so, I also believe that there isn't an infrastructural support for this. I spoke with Chris Klomp, who is the deputy administrator for Centers for Medicare and Medicaid. He
Wow.
reports directly to Dr. And Dr. Oz is an amazing guy, but so is Chris.
Mm.
And Chris understands technology,
Mm.
and he understands the importance of quality. And I said, "Chris, you guys have all these doctors that you allow to see our patients, your
Mhm.
patients. I believe that you, with a stroke of a pen, can have an immediate impact on population health in this country. And here's what I believe. If you mandate wellness programs to be delivered by Medicare and Medicaid doctors, they will start doing that.
Mm.
They will find the right path.
Yeah.
There's a lot of options out there. They don't have to use me. They
No.
can find all kinds of things out there that help improve
Yeah.
wellness through nutrition, nutritional supplements, fitness, but have them required to have a program." And he said,
Definitely.
"Well, we're looking bigger." He's
Uh-huh.
thinking bigger. They are.
Okay.
And, he said, "We're working with the universities to add in curriculum around wellness." And 2 months later, they did.
Oh.
55 institutions in this country have agreed to add in 40 hours of instruction on nutrition, nutritional health, nutritional supplements, fitness, and so forth.
Okay. And
Well,
that's for a to obtain a
that's
medical
for a
degree
medical student,
for a
right?
medical student.
Right.
Okay.
Who wants to be a doctor. And that also includes PAs. I think it'll
Okay.
flow down into, nursing programs and so forth.
Great. That's
Because a
really
lot of the people that are out there right now doing longevity, doing weight loss and so forth, many of them are PAs, many of them are registered nurse practitioners.
right.
They have the skill sets. They just didn't have that last year of, medical school or 2 years.
For
It really
sure.
so at the end of the day, though, my point to him was, "That's great, Chris, but that's gonna take a long time
Yeah.
to have a meaningful impact on our population health." I mean, the reality is the reason why these PAs and nurse practitioners have grown up so much is because we have a shortage of doctors. So because we have a shortage of doctors, they don't have time to learn stuff like this. If you
Mhm.
mandate it, they won't they'll make time. They'll have to find
Well,
time,
exactly.
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and so, I'm gonna take another pass at Chris and see if we
Yeah.
can influence him to do some policy changes for Medicare and Medicaid. I think it would have an immediate impact.
Yeah, I am so in awe and impressed with what you're doing, John, because you're improving the health of everyone. I mean, starting with the US. I'm really, really yeah, like I say, I'm in awe of what you're doing.
Thank you.
And
I
thank you
appreciate
for
that.
doing it. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I'm going to change track a little bit again and talk about AI, how it's affecting what you're doing, because it's affecting every single business, right? So I'd like to first of all understand, is are you utilizing the technology? And how is it helping you become more efficient in what you're doing and save time, costs, etc.?
So, I first used UI. I first used AI back in 2013.
Wow.
I
Okay.
had started a business that was around big data. That was a big new thing, right?
Hmm.
And I tend to gravitate to the new things
Yeah.
because they're exciting and they have promise, right? And if we could pull the promise out of those technologies, and they're
Hmm.
very valuable, and
Hmm.
it is meaningful to the people that we work with.
Yeah.
And it was really more machine learning back then, but there was some vestiges of AI. We were doing some AI back then. And,
Hmm.
it was very rudimentary. But especially over the last 3, 4 years, it's really rocketing up. Money is being spent on it,
Yeah. A
trillions of dollars.
lot of money is being
So,
spent.
from a technology point of view, we leverage AI in a number of areas. We started off creating designs using AI for our SKU management system,
Okay.
because that's a piece of technology that you have to have in a manufacturing operation, especially if you have a complex manufacturing operation.
Makes sense.
You've really got to keep track of that. And
Yeah.
so we built a very elegant SKU management system that integrates into our platform, as part of our platform, actually. And that was the first use of AI in our company.
And for anyone who doesn't know, essentially it's a price book to
Yeah, it's called a
provide me. Yes.
SKU. SKU
SKU. Yeah.
means stock keeping unit. So it
Right.
allows us to manage inventory.
Right.
And
Yes. Okay.
inventory, in our case, comes from 2 different factories, because I also have a partner that manufactures gummies here in Las Vegas. We
Okay.
manufacture our capsules up in northern Utah. And so, we have multiple locations now, and we have to
Mhm.
keep track of where things come from. We have to keep track of batches,
Yes.
because if for whatever reason, God forbid, there's a recall, we
Yeah.
need to know where our raw materials came from in that batch.
Yeah.
And we source responsibly globally. We test before we use anything. Every
Mm.
shipment that comes in, we test.
Great.
And we ensure that we do have high quality, but sometimes certain vendors can't supply what we need based on
Mhm.
volume.
Yeah.
We have to have other vendors. And so we have to track all of that, and our SKU management system helps us do that.
And the AI, so how did you utilize the AI in your SKU
So
management
the
system?
AI helped us design that system so that it
Right.
was
Amazing.
elegant, easy to use, because we don't wanna have developers and engineers having to administer and manage that.
No.
We
No.
need people that are, analysts or clerks or I mean, there's a variety of skill sets that we need in our business, and those people need to be able to access that information, need to be able to keep it up to date and so forth. Some of it is automated through application program interfaces, APIs. So that was the first use of AI. We began using it for blog generation because every one of our tenants will generate blogs for them.
Great. Okay.
Different tenants
Mm.
our different practitioners have different needs. And
Yeah.
so we can tune up a set of blogs that go into their site and do it really efficiently. We also do research using AI. AI is tremendously effective in research. Clinical studies in some of the AI platforms are very well documented.
Yeah.
And so with multiple reliability statistics. So we were using it for research from day one. So that
Hmm.
was probably the first use of AI. As we go along, we will write code with AI. We've got some initial projects or some things that aren't mission critical because we want to test that out. But I have
Yeah.
experience with AI being very effective. You just can't deploy it without looking at it. It's
Right.
the way it is.
Exactly.
AI isn't perfect.
No. No.
And so, we're never rising above human. They say maybe it will, but it sure hadn't yet.
It hasn't yet. It hasn't yet. And let's hope it doesn't. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it rising above humans. I mean, unless it's for the overall greater good. But
Right.
anyway, that's another podcast.
So we've also, originally we were gonna well, we had focused initially on the practitioner market, so medical wellness and fitness practitioners. But I knew always that I wanted to go direct to the consumer, but I felt like I needed a foundation first in the medical community because
Okay.
that supports anything that we do going forward. They actually
Yeah.
support each other, right? Because I got the same brand going into both channels.
Okay. That makes sense. That makes
But,
sense.
this idea that there's a silver bullet
Hmm.
comes from advertising. Buy curcumin, buy beetroot, buy
Yep.
magnesium. You'll be great.
Yes.
No, you won't, because you're cobbling together something. You don't have an engineered system.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we have an engineered system, we have the data and the
Hmm.
content to enable our algorithms and AI to provide a recommendation engine.
Oh
So
my.
you have to market to people. How are you going to do that? Well, there's a number of ways. You can put ads in the newspaper. You can put ads in magazines. Most people are doing social media. Many are
Hmm.
doing email marketing, although a lot of people have gotten away from that. I've built 3 marketing automation platforms in my life. The last one I sold to Sugar CRM.
You say that's incredible.
So I know something about marketing directly, direct marketing.
Yes.
And, we need their permission, right? We need opt-in because then when we have opt-in, then we have the ability to understand their needs much better and to be able to make good recommendations. So we have our pharmabuilt.ai. If someone receives an email from us, it comes from internet signals because we know how to pull that out of
Okay.
the internet. We know what people are looking for. I
Mm.
gotta say it's a little creepy. We call it creepy data. But
Well,
everybody is trying to do that these days. They're not doing it that
everyone
well.
is.
They're
Everyone
not
is.
trying
I mean, yeah, our
but,
data's out.
that's part of personalization. Every
Yes.
system that we use is
Yep.
watching us and trying to
Mm.
personalize things for our needs, right?
Yep.
Our phones, our internet presence, our email, everything.
Yes.
So we use that data to send emails to people. They've already opted in. That's how we got their email.
Mhm.
And there's a link in that email. And when they click on that link, it takes them to a page that is pharmabuilt.ai,
Yep.
and they give us some information about their health needs. This is
Okay.
all fully secure. We're running an Amazon. We've got multiple levels of security, and we don't keep the medical data.
Okay.
And we guarantee and protect their privacy. We have privacy policies around that. We
Okay.
support
Great.
GDPR. If they want us to purge our databases of their information, we do that. So we
Great.
have all the compliance systems in order to provide that
Yeah.
assurance that they're being protected.
Good. Good. Good.
And
Good.
once they hit the submit button, our algorithms and AI come back with a recommendation for what they should consider in our protocols. And when they choose a protocol, It takes them straight into a checkout page, and they can check out, and they get a subscription, just like our medical community patients.
I see. Okay. Makes sense.
And
That
then we
makes
follow up with them. We wanna know, are they
mm,
happy?
yeah.
Did it change how they felt,
Mm,
right? We want them to give us that guidance because if there's something going on, we wanna know about it, right?
yeah. Yeah.
So we stay really, really close to our patients. You know, a lot of online sales organizations, they don't wanna talk to you.
No.
We do. We wanna hear from you. We want you to call us. We want you to send us emails, send us text. We wanna know what you think. And
Good.
if there's an issue, we wanna jump on it like that. We can't afford to have people unhappy.
Love it. So you've got the added benefit of the customer service aspect of it as well.
Yeah.
Amazing. So you're obviously using AI in quite a few different ways. Is there anywhere that you are there any repeatable tasks that you're doing that you would like to automate via AI that you're not currently doing?
We're doing some of that in our manufacturing side. We're doing some of that in our marketing side. So the management of data, you know, the targeting of data, the cleaning of data, all of that sort of thing is being some of that's being done by AI. I'm going to start providing some AI to our physicians. Some of them are asking for it. There is a concern by physicians that they're not going to be in the middle of it, right? They don't want AI to make a recommendation to their patient without
Yeah.
their input. And
Hmm.
so we are changing the structure of our AI to enable that so
Okay.
that they get that input, right? That's one of the things that I think are if you look at the health community, there's a lot of people going
Mm,
after that with AI.
yeah.
Um, every new technology that I've been involved in,
Mhm.
web services, portal,
Yeah.
we used to call it application service providers, ASP. It's now called SaaS, software
Yes.
as a service,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Big data,
Mm,
um, well, social media for that matter. All of these things became hyped up.
yeah.
The analyst throw that into their hype cycles,
Mm,
and all of a sudden, everybody's gotta have that as part of their product offering.
yeah. Absolutely.
And you know what? They do the best they can, but they're not all able to do that the way it should be done, and
Hmm.
sometimes they're fudging a little bit, what they promise. So, I think there's always a chance that there's gonna be mismatched expectations when you work with a new technology. We
Yeah.
try to avoid any of those mismatched expectations. We have guardrails.
Good.
We don't just do AI for the sake of AI. We could do a lot of other things right now, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to do them because there's not enough yet for me to bet my
Mhm.
business on that and to bet your health.
Absolutely. And I think that's very responsible of you, to be honest. So, gosh, we're almost out of time, John. I could talk to you for hours on this, to be honest. But where in an ideal world do you want to see the business in the next sort of 6 to 12 months?
Well, you know, we're growing at a pretty good clip. Um, You know, ultimately, we started off looking at the US and Canada as
Mhm.
our initial markets. The reality is there's plenty of business here. There's
Yeah.
plenty of business globally. On a
Yeah.
global basis, we're looking at about a $350 trillion-dollar market,
Yeah.
okay? It's growing at a rate of 7% overall. Nutritional supplements as a category are growing at about a 7% annual compound growth rate. The CAGR, which is a compound annual growth rate, or personalized supplementation, is growing at a rate of 15 to 17%.
That's incredible. And
My
lots.
biggest challenge is to keep up with that growth.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my biggest challenge because if you grow too fast, you outgrow your shoes, right? And, you know, you run out of your shoes, now you're running barefoot,
Mhm.
you're gonna step on something sharp.
Yeah.
I don't wanna do that. I
Yeah.
wanna make sure that the quality of our product never suffers. I wanna make sure that the quality of the experience of our patient never suffers. I was the chief technology officer at Caesars Entertainment. Our entire focus was around customer experience because when you have a good customer experience,
Mm,
everybody wins, right?
absolutely. I love that.
So that's one of the biggest things that I'm focusing on going forward into the future. And then obviously, I believe that our systems are appropriate for global expansion.
Hmm.
But setting up a manufacturing operation in another country takes quite a bit of effort
Yeah.
and very significant investment. And so we will approach that cautiously. We
Yeah.
may approach that with partners. We don't know yet.
Hmm.
But regardless of what we do, we're going to ensure that we maintain quality and customer experience.
Love that. Absolutely love that. And I've got so much, like I said earlier, I've got so much respect for what you're doing. And I'm excited to see the growth of your business and hopefully one day the expansion to Europe. Although I know it's about finding the quality manufacturing side of things that will, I'm sure, be a challenge. But it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the podcast. Is there, before we go, is there any last words you'd give to our listeners about the entrepreneur journey that you have been on, and any lessons that you'd like to share?
So, being an entrepreneur is not easy. You need to make sure you have the support of your family. You need to have financial support. I recommend anybody that becomes an entrepreneur needs to have a solid, foundation of financial independence. And if
Mm-hmm.
they don't, they need someone that will give them that. I generally know that it's about pivoting. I pivoted my technology platform 3 or 4 times before we rolled out the first implementation, but
Mm.
along the way, we were checking with our market. We were talking to people, we were showing them what we were doing. If you don't
Nice.
do that up front, if you go build something and you're in an ivory tower and you think this is gonna be something really good, the market will always disappoint you. And so you
That's
have to
got.
understand what the market needs. So from
Mhm.
a technology point of view, what it needs from an ease of use, a user experience, a feature
Yeah.
functionality sort of thing.
Mm.
From a product point of view, what is important to people? Well,
Mm.
wellness. That's a big thing. And so
Yes.
we had to go out into the market and talk to a lot of people. A lot of people don't understand the concept of health span. So that's one of our bigger lifts.
It's
And
a.
we know that you're always going to have a big lift somewhere along the way,
Mhm.
and that's ours.
Nice. Great, great, great advice, John. Thank you again for being on the podcast. And that concludes this episode. I hope you've all enjoyed this conversation as much as I have, and you've learned something about Core Speed Health. Great products. And thanks again, John. And look forward to maybe having you back again.
That'd be great. Tajneed, it's been a pleasure. I really have enjoyed getting to know you and look forward to talking to you again soon.
Definitely. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.